Burkina Faso is a landlocked country just south of the Sahelian belt that traverses West Africa. Like most other African countries, Burkina Faso faces the challenges of rapid urbanization. Its capital, Ouagadougou, is dotted with numerous low-income settlements inhabited by large populations of the urban poor. For decades, many informal settlements in Ouagadougou have gone without basic amenities like clean water supply and proper sanitation facilities.
This question of drinking water and sanitation is a critical question for our population in Africa and for a country like Burkina Faso. Without drinking water, you cannot talk about education, you cannot talk about health, you cannot talk about food security. So it affects all the rest of the objectives.
The Millennium Development Goals for water and sanitation serve as an entry point to development and economic growth. UN-Habitat's Water for African Cities program is working with governments, non-governmental organizations and communities to attain the MDGs concerning access to clean water and basic sanitation for the urban poor.
We originally started off working on three principal areas. One was on water demand management, the second on protection of water resources from the impacts of urbanization, and the third area was dissemination and outreach. But that recently has, in the past 5 years, has been expanded to include other priority areas such as sanitation, monitoring, and specific focus on the urban poor.
The Water for African Cities program focuses on pro-poor governance to enable people with low incomes to have a voice in collective decision-making. Here in Ouagadougou, the program has constructed water standpoints in various low-income areas to bring clean water closer to each household. The communities have been involved right from the planning stage.
I participated in the training about sensitization on issues of hygiene around the water points in Kadiogo. When people come here to fetch water, we tell them about the importance of hygiene. We were also trained how to calculate profit and loss, the daily income. So we take maximum advantage of the well.
In addition to the public water points, individual low-income households in Ouagadougou have benefited from the Water for African Cities program with improved latrines and connections to the water supply network. These connections were made affordable through a microcredit revolving fund. The loans were handled by a local management committee whose involvement has been a key success factor.
Before, the holes were exposed and open. There were flies, cockroaches, many unhygienic things. But now it's clean. And when you go in, there's no smell. It's covered, protected against the sun, so there's no problem.
In the area of sanitation, Ouagadougou boasts a high-spec public toilet complex that is visited by an estimated 15,000 people every month. This modern facility was built in conjunction with the National Water and Sanitation Authority, ONU-Habitat, and the municipality of Ouagadougou. City residents pay a minimal fee to use the facility.
At the official opening of the complex, donors and the Ouagadougou commune asked us to set up a transitional team to manage the complex so as to establish the real cost implications of the complex and then open bids to private suppliers to take over.
The Water for African Cities program is working towards creating a new water use ethic among school children and, by extension, the community at large. This is being done through an innovative school and community curriculum called value-based water education. In Burkina Faso, nearly 900 school children have been provided access to latrines and safe water supplies. Some schools have also established water clubs to sensitize their communities through extracurricular activities.
Oui. Ça nous donne la santé. Okay.
Wayalge D and E is one of the pilot schools. The community around the school has also benefited from the program with 2 rehabilitated boreholes and 24 water points. This model is being replicated across the city.
In the beginning, if you were to look at the schools, they were not like this. But with the value-based water education, the students got into the habit of cleanliness. Their bodies, their clothes, they cleaned the school and the toilets. With sensitization of parents and the surrounding community, we feel they are involved.
The Water for African Cities program has placed a lot of emphasis on the concept of water demand management. The program supports water utility companies to improve efficiency by reducing levels of unaccounted for water. The city of Dori in northern Burkina Faso presents an interesting illustration of water demand management. The Water for African Cities program funded a study which resulted in the construction of a series of water ponds that capture rainfall in July and August. The water is then distributed to this mainly pastoral community, providing clean, safe water for both the residents and their valued livestock.
We asked UN-Habitat to help us in mapping the requirements of the city of Dori, not only in terms of what to do with the rainwater, in particular how to find ways by which the water would go as quickly as possible into the main pond, but also how to conserve part of that water for at least part of the time for domestic usage.
In Dori, 56 households have benefited with improved latrines and 97 households with connections to the water supply network. A revolving fund will ensure that even more families here gain access to clean water and improved sanitation.
Now that we have a tap and we don't have to buy water from vendors, people don't get sick all the time. The toilet is clean, we wash it every day. We don't have a problem now.
The main point is to ensure that projects continue so that we can reach many more people in other towns and that we develop critical thinking on sanitation. And so we are looking at integrating other wider objectives into the program and duplicating them in other towns in Burkina Faso while putting emphasis on family hygiene.
Water supports everything: health, education. We need to collaborate on this most scarce and precious commodity in the world so that we will not die due to waterborne diseases. Together, we will overcome the problems that we face and give our people the hope to live and live happily.
As African cities increasingly serve as engines of growth, the continent's population will continue to migrate to urban centres. The demands on governments to provide adequate sanitation and water supply will keep rising. Initiatives like the Water for African Cities program play a vital role in bridging the demand gap, but the real value of demonstration projects such as this lies in the capacity of governments and local authorities to upscale and replicate them. This will ensure sustainable access to proper sanitation and safe drinking water for Africa's urban poor, making a tangible impact on their lives and serving as a stepping stone to a brighter future.